So I got a lot of questions about my experience with AA school and applying and what my stats were and what that application process was like. So I'm going to try to answer most of those questions in this short little video. So I graduated from UGA in May of 2024 with a GPA of a 3.54, I believe. It did help that I was in the honors program, but even then, my first time applying, I actually didn't get any interviews anywhere. Outside of GPA, instead of going the GRE route, I went the MCAT route. And the first time I took the MCAT, it did not go well. I did not study enough for it. And I actually got a 493, which is well below the average. So then I studied up a whole bunch and I took it again and I got a 503, which I was happy with. On top of that, I was also a farm tech for about a year, and I also did 100 plus hours of shadowing, so I had that on my application as well. With all that being said though, I still applied way too late in that first application cycle because I had to wait on that MCAT score to come back because I postponed it and I didn't take it as seriously as I should have. So I was applying November, like ended November, early December, which is super late into the application process. By the time my application actually got in, I'd say over half of the spots at most of the schools were probably already taken and they were already conducting interviews. So it was really almost a waste of time and money for me to apply that late. And I inevitably did have to take a gap year and I worked as a farm tech. And then also took A&P 1 and 2 at a community college because I didn't already have those classes and they were actually required the next application cycle. So at that community college, I got nearly 100 on A&P 1 and A&P 2, which boosted my GPA a little bit. I think I ended up with like a 3.59, 3.61, around that area the next time I applied. So after having to take that gap year, it was kind of a wake-up call, and I applied early the next time. And it was around, I want to say August, because I had to wait to finish A&P 1 as soon as I graduated in May of 2024 from UGA. So August of 2024, then I applied, and I applied site-wide. I applied to a whole bunch of different programs. And even though I was feeling more confident about my application, it still wasn't perfect, and it was still probably slightly below the average, I'd say, for those applying in, especially my GPA. I didn't take school as seriously as I should have in undergrad, which is one of my biggest regrets. So after applying in August, I actually did not hear back from any school for a long time. And then whenever I started to hear back from schools, they were all saying that their classes were full. So I thought I would have to take another gap year. But then luckily, and very, very late into this interview process, I got an interview from VCOM, which is where I'm currently at. So after having to take a gap year, I only got one interview this next application cycle. So it was kind of a do or die moment. I mean, it wouldn't have been the end of the world to take another gap year. Some people have to take multiple. That's not a big deal. But for me personally, I really was not looking forward to having to take another gap year. I really would have liked to go ahead and get into a program. So this interview was very, very important for me. So this was kind of a general overview. If you would like more specifics about the interview process, what I did, what to prepare for it, what I would do if I were you, the kind of questions that you want to ask them in an interview, maybe you're more concerned about studying for science classes in your undergrad or in an AA program, or if you want to know how I prepped for the MCAT, not that I got a crazy good score, but I got a 503, which I'm happy with. So if you want to know how I prep for that, then just let me know. Ask me specifics about this application process, and I'll be sure to either make a video or answer your questions in the comments. Thank you.